fisherman for 11 years. Started off on the west coast of Ireland and southwest, and eventually finished up the last number of years on the east coast. Around Dublin Bay used to be a big problem in there, but I think since the new sewage pipelines went in, I think that's more or less eradicated that problem. There's no trawling in the bay now. Some minister in his wisdom decided to close the trawling, and so it's hard to tell, but you don't see stuff getting washed up. You'll often see stuff washed up in the back of the pier that in the day. You don't really see that much of it now. There was some of the boats come up here fishing mussels back then, and they used to transplant the seed mussel back down to Wexford into clean water, and because they're a filter feeder, when they're in clean water for so long, all the toxins are flushed out of them. They actually clean themselves. So that's the way they operate. But I was talking to some of the lads who were fishing razor clams and cockles in the bay, and they were stopped because of the toxin levels in the fish. Yeah, and that's in the last 4 or 5 years. Even though the beaches had blue flags, the toxin in the shellfish, there's signs up all along the bay not to eat shellfish taken from the bay because of the toxin levels in it.
Ireland actually is my 12th country. I've been working on lots of different countries doing this kind of work, not just with pinnipeds, not just with seals, but also with whales, dolphins, sharks, sea turtles, manatees, different species of marine animals. Every single place is different, every single place has its charm. We're about to start the common seals season, and it's going to keep on going, and it's going to overlap with the grey seal season. Winter is our busiest season. Yes, we need a lot of space for those animals. Several times we needed to double, and in a couple of occasions we needed to triple the kennels.
Certainly while I was fishing, there wasn't the same quantity of seals along. I mean, I was talking to one chap, and he's down around Dalkey Island regularly, and he counted 50 seals there one day. I mean, there was nowhere near that kind of population when I was fishing.
All over the place, all over the place. There is no difference. There is no difference. After all, all the coastline of Ireland and the UK islands and the Atlantic side of Europe, well, these are habitats, so it doesn't make any difference. They come from all over. The main reason why they're here is because they are orphaned. They got orphaned, or also they are weaners. And yes, mom did a very good job, and they start catching fish on their own, but they are not very good at that, and they ingest fish with parasites, and that's get them here. That's what get them here.
There's a lot more seals there now than there was then. We'd often get fish half eaten in the trawl. The seal would be operating just in front of the trawl. The way a trawl works, you have your other boards and you have bridles that connect it to the net. And as it's going along, they're basically vibrating, and it creates dust cloud, so the fish are herded in. So the seals will go down in around that, eating the fish, eating the bigger fish, and you'd get half fish in the net when you'd haul. Especially if you were working static gear, if you're working gill nets, they're basically a net you lay on the seabed, and you go back and haul them the next day, and you'd get a lot of damaged fish in them, a lot of damaged fish. And I don't know, I know people see seals and look, lovely little seals now, but they were stopping us. They actually stopped us from making a living. Where we were making a living in Colony Bay, we had to move out of it because we were getting that much damaged fish.
Entanglement and other seals bite. Actually, other seals bites is the most common injury here.
And now you have, I don't know, seal sanctuary or whatever they're called. They come along and they see a seal that's sick, they bring it in and they make it better and put it back in the water and all. And why? Like, I mean, the seal is most likely sick because of something that it picked up in nature. And if it's meant to die, let it die. It's not like they're an endangered species. It's like they're not.
This year I didn't have any boat strike. That doesn't mean that doesn't happen. It happens. I was lucky enough not to have anyone this year. Parasitosis and parasitic pneumonia. For example, the animal is totally infested with the lungworms, and that's going to give the animal pneumonia. We are awaiting for results on not bacterial but viral test from some animals that died in very suspicious circumstances. That was a virus. Which virus is it? I'm still waiting for the results.
There's at least 50 seals on Dalkey Island. That was never heard of before. Even in the harbour here, there's 10 or 12 seals live in the harbour. They live underneath the old St Michael's Pier, on the rocks at the start of the St Michael's Pier. They're in there, and you'd hear them in there early in the morning. You'd hear them baying, and they come over here to the fish shop. The people throw the offal in, so they're probably no bother to the fishermen because they're too lazy now. They come over here and get fed by hand. Is it a mistake to feed them? Maybe it's keeping them away from the fish stocks by feeding them in here. But I know there's certainly the ones that are on Dalkey Island. They'd be, if there was anybody fishing, trawling around the area, they'd be a scourge for them.
Pollution on sea life. Well, it's deadly in all different aspects. It's deadly. The animals get entangled, intoxicated, or they eat the garbage itself. There have been so many examples of, for example, whales eating, doing what they do, eating around the ocean, and a few kilograms of plastic has been extracted from their stomachs once they are dead.
I don't think the pollutants in the sea are causing the ice cap to be melting. I think the pollutants in the sea are causing other problems. When I was working here, there was a man who used to travel around the coast, and every now and again you'd see him, and he used to be looking out for leatherback turtles. And he used to say to us at the time, like, you know, would you throw plastic overboard or that? I would say, it'd be very little, like maybe a wrapper off a fucking packet of sausage or something. They said, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because the leatherback turtle's staple diet was jellyfish. So he said, if you have that piece of plastic in the water, it's going to look like a jellyfish, so he's going to eat it, and it clogs up the gullets. And that's how they died. They starved to death because they can't feed. So that was back in the 80s. There was a man actually going around doing research on this and educating people about it. So when we met him, like, and he told us the story, we stopped throwing any kind of stuff overboard. We bring the shore and put it into the bins here. And even now, there's a bin brought down here every week, and the fishermen, they load all their rubbish from the week into it.
It's not just whales. For example, also I've participated on different necropsies of fish finding plastic on their stomachs. Sea turtle that died because she ingested plastic. So, yeah, and that's 100% our responsibility. Like,
I don't know if I've ever been up to the dump where all the rubbish goes. The amount of seagulls, there's more seagulls up there than there is in the harbour. So it's not that they are going to get caught in stuff like that. But did that happen in the sea? I don't think so. I'd say it happened up in the. That's not saying there isn't a lot of stuff. You only have to walk along any beach and you see the amount of plastic rings from cans and stuff, and people down the beaches having their barbecues or parties or whatever, and sure, they don't all take the stuff away.
We are quite selfish. We are quite, according to this, our scientific name is Homo sapiens. We are not sapiens. We are ludens. We harvest. We use. We dispose. If we're sapiens, well, we're gonna prove it. Where is the kind part of humankind? I don't know. We do our part here on Rescue Island. You can do your part by fixing your car. So many things, but are we doing enough? No, we're not. It's down to the individual. Starts at home. Starts at home. The planet is screaming for help. The proof is on global warming, plastic accumulation, redistribution of migratory patterns, redistribution of raining patterns. So all that is our fault. All that is our fault. It's happening, and it's true. What happens there? Think microscopically. Get your mind into microscopical levels. Your polyester, your nylon, and other fibers are tumbling on your washer, and it's breaking up. It's going through the drain and it's getting to the ocean. Once it's into the ocean, well, they resemble a lot the particles of plastic, nylon, and other fibers, they resemble a lot microalgae. And that microalgae is consumed by, let's say, for example, little shrimp-like creatures called copepods. Copepods are going to eat that thing that is algae. And, copepods are going to be eaten by small fish, and it's going to be eaten by the big fish, and it's going to end up in your plate. It's true. It's not a myth. It's happening. First of all, because we just dump it into the ocean. The ocean, we consider for many years that the ocean can be our wasteland or something like that, our dump area, we don't know. But keep this in mind. Plastic takes at least 400 years to get disintegrated. Other forms of plastic is over 1,000 years. How long ago we started using plastic? So, in other words, all the plastic that has been produced by humankind is still there. It's still there. So, plastic, we use it, we throw it away, well, it's there, it's just accumulating. No, we're not doing enough. We need to do more. It's going to cost a lot of money, but yes, we can. If we have money for a NASCAR race or for a football soccer World Cup or something like that, we have money to rescue our ocean. Once I read on the internet something that is really, really true. And it is, in the age of information, ignorance is by choice. So, if you have access on your phone to the most selective, the most complete libraries in the world, but you use that to check on pictures of cats, well, think a little about what we're doing. What can you do? What can we do? You as a person, you as part of a community, you as part of a government, you as part of the human race. So, why the plastic is still there? Because our grandparents start disposing that with no control. Well, we need to pick it up. That's simple. The ocean is not going to take care of the plastic.